What does education mean to you? It's a question that we don't often consider, yet we must grasp its significance. Today, I invite you to journey with me as we explore how we can define education and its transformative power, especially in underrepresented and underserved global communities. In our modernized world, it's easy to overlook the privilege we have in accessing education. The United States offers free public education from kindergarten through 12th grade and affordable community college options to all. However, this is not the case for many countries worldwide. Many global communities face overwhelming educational barriers, such as living circumstances and financial constraints, a saddening reality for those who cannot afford the luxury of learning. According to UNESCO, 244 million children and youth between the ages of 6 and 18 worldwide are out of school. That is about 1 in every 5 children. This comes to show how there's so many kids who are out of school, and most of these communities typically remain unnoticed while we continue to live our lives overlooking the value of education. Reflecting on my own experiences, I can personally recall feeling moments of disengagement and even resentment towards the opportunities that were given to me. Like many of my peers, I would grumble about early mornings and long school days. In fact, recent state data shows how nearly 40% of Oregon students missed 16 or more days of school during the 2022 to 2023 school year, emphasizing that a large number of students are skipping school because of their extreme dislike for it. Even with this daunting data, it wasn't until I was writing my first ever essay in my AP English language class that I truly began to deeply reflect and appreciate the profound impact of education. The first essay prompt that we were given in this class was to state a position on the role that adversity plays in developing a person's character. The first person who came to mind was Malala Yousafzai. I recollected my memories from elementary school when my teacher would read the book I Am Malala to the class. But looking back, I was unable to grasp what it genuinely meant to reflect on my own privileges of being able to access easy and quick access to education, while young individuals like Malala Yousafzai had to struggle and even got shot in the head because of the unjust society she lived in during the time. My perspective was further enriched during my time in Vietnam last summer, where I was able to converse with Vietnamese youth who were eager to learn and enhance their knowledge. Listening to these meaningful conversations changed how I viewed education, and I believe is truly worth sharing. The first location that we were able to go to was Promise House, which is a street children's program that helps young individuals enhance their knowledge. While we were here, I was able to converse with young kids while I was eating lunch with them. Most of the youth here were unable to go to college and instead are doing vocational training. But what they shared in common was the desire to gain higher education, but were unable to do so because of financial constraints. In particular, one of the youth that I was able to meet was Hang. She is a youth who had a mother with mental disabilities and a father whom she had never met. And after she was born, her mother was unable to care for her, and eventually social services placed her in a poorly run rural orphanage in Vietnam, which later closed in 2015, moving her to the Promise House group home. When she arrived, she showed years of neglect and even did poorly in school because of that. She had no access to learning resources, which made her do poorly in school. But with the help of Promise House, she was able to exceed in school and place top of her class. And with her dedication and hard work, she is now on track to going to college and also pursuing her dreams. Highlighting that for underserved individuals just like Hang, having these resources and opportunities is greatly impactful to them. We then got the opportunity to go to Love of Vietnam Expressed, a place that provides resources to low-income families to help them enhance their knowledge. While I was there, I learned that so many parents and students came by their motorcycles and bicycles. And a lot of the time, they were unable to gain workbooks, and so we had the opportunity to provide workbooks and school supplies to them, in which many of the parents sent their kids here. And at this location, it was extremely memorable to me because the temperature was over 100 degrees Fahrenheit since we went in late June, but so many families arrived here. And in particular, one of the women that we met had a physical disability in which one of her legs, she was unable to walk upright, but she still managed to arrive to this location with her 5-year-old daughter because she knew that this was a great opportunity that she couldn't pass on. The last location that I had the privilege of going to was Katu Village. Our charity group Operation Vietnam had to travel 4 hours out of the city of Da Nang to arrive to this location. Katu Village is home to the Katu people, which are indigenous groups recognized by the Vietnamese government and speak in a Katuic dialect often recognized as a separate language. The Katu people live in a very distant mountainous region in central Vietnam, where most of the people here are ethnic minorities and remain in poor conditions despite the continuous growth of Vietnam, economic growth of Vietnam. And while we were here, it was shocking to see how so many of the students and kids were waiting for us. And what was even more shocking was that we had to cross a very unstable bridge and hike deep into the mountains to even arrive to this location, while also carrying resources such as school supplies, toys, meals, and other resources like rice bags so that we could give to the community. And when we were there, I noticed how many of the children, there was 150 children in total, they were so eager and so motivated to learn that they were waiting for us in the scorching hot heat despite us being a little late. And so here we can see how these youth really show us how that education is really important and that we need to strive together to amplify their voices. In all of these communities, education was not a chore to complain about. It was a beacon of hope, a pathway to empowerment, and a catalyst for change, accentuating how education is a great equalizer that progresses individuals. And despite having numerous challenges that created major barriers, they embraced education as a means to transcend their circumstances and create a better future for themselves and for their families. Therefore, the next time you look back on your educational experiences as an adult, or you go to school, or the next time you go to school, think again about what education means to you. Because education is so impactful to many lives, and that we need to work together as people who have privilege to education to really amplify these people's voices and bring awareness to these issues. And so with that being said, I encourage you to look at education with gratitude and really think again about what education means to you to progress and use your knowledge to progress society. Thank you for listening.